What's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to another episode of the Soul of Media podcast, where we dive deep into the realms of personal growth, spirituality, raising the vibration of the masses, and yes, a sprinkle of ratchetness for all my ladies in the back. Welcome back to another episode of the Soul of Media podcast. I'm your girl, Soulful T, and here we talk about everything spirituality, personal growth, and raising the vibration of the masses. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Good. Well, y'all, we are back. We are back with another dope guest. I got my girl, Shariah. Hey,
Hey,
welcome,
girl.
Shariah, to the Soul of Media platform. How you doing?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I am doing well. I feel grateful. I feel vibrant. And I'm just grateful to be in this space with you today to have a really poppin', authentic conversation and share our experiences.
Yes, absolutely. Well, before we get started, I have to let the audience know how we met. How we met. We actually met like a few months ago before all the craziness happened, I feel like, with the weather and stuff in Atlanta. Yeah. Girl, that was like the start of it all. Like that was the start of it all. But we met at the podcast summit, right? We met at the podcast summit, kind of bumped into her in the bathroom. And I ain't gonna lie, I was fangirling just a little bit. Just a little bit. I really love your music.
Oh
Oh
my
my God, it
gosh,
makes me
thank
feel so
you.
good. Me and my sister, we always sharing your music and your posts because it really is uplifting. So I was like, look, it was meant to me. It was meant to be for me to meet her. So let me go ahead and introduce myself. And so I had to have you on the podcast. So thank you again for joining me, girl.
My
Like I really
pleasure. What? My pleasure. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for the compliments on music. We actually have another album coming out next month, November
oh,
22nd.
yes.
Little shout out to that. But yes, girl, it happened real divine, real divine. You like, I remember we were in the ladies' restroom. And you was like, "Are you Shariah Wise?" And I was like, even me, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you know who I
Like,
am?" Like, you know. Because online I have a presence, but I have the privilege, and I'm grateful that day to day I'm just regular Shariah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just a normal girl, and so it was like definitely supposed to happen.
let's just dive right into it. Like, give me a little bit of your background in spirituality. Like, how were you brought up as far as spirituality and like religion?
I grew up very religious, actually. So there was influence from my dad's side and my mom's side, right? So my dad's side of the family, I should say, was very much Catholic down, right? But then my mom's side was very Christian. Despite what side of the family I was on, I was going to church, right? So we had the Catholic church, but I also went to the churches that were more black and you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right. A
you
little
know,
beat, a little culture in there. Yeah.
so I definitely grew up with a lot of religious influence in my life. But in addition to that, my grandmother, who had a large influence on my upbringing, in addition to her being religious with Catholics, she was also very much a spiritual woman. So like little things growing up, I would see her like put water or coffee next to pictures. Never knew what that was. It was an altar. I never knew what it was, and I'd be like, "Grandma, how come you keep giving these pictures coffee?" And she'd be like, "Because they get thirsty. They want some water. They want some coffee too." You know what I'm saying? And I never put two and two together clearly, until I got older. And now I have my own altar, and so I've always had such a strong religious influence on my upbringing. And I think it was really when I was like college years. So I was probably around 20, 21, early 20s was when I started to come into my own awakening. I still believe in God and things like that, but now I realize that spirituality for me is so much more nuanced. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so but that's really my upbringing and like, how I was brought up, very religious in church, whether it was I don't want to say typical, but for lack of a better word, the stereotypical black church or a more of a Catholic, like walking down the aisle. Oh, sidebar, I was an altar girl. I was literally an altar
Oh,
girl in my
I
cat.
never had altar girls. I just heard of altar boys before.
Right?
I
I
didn't.
know. I know. And that's what, yeah, I was literally an altar girl. Doing the same thing that an altar boy would do. It's just that, I'm a girl. So I was an altar girl. I got my first communion, my confirmation. I did all the Catholic sacraments to like get you to higher levels of I don't know what, you know, but
whatever that is that you're trying to achieve.
exactly. So yeah, I was in Sunday school, girl. I was a church girl.
Same. I grew up very heavily in the church. My father was a pastor. Both my mom and my dad were very religious, but my mom was more like she's Christian, but she's a little bit more open. You know, she always had this more open mindset to her. And now my dad, very strict, very by the book, like do. And I was just like, yeah. After a while, and the questions that I had, it led me down my own spiritual path because I felt like it was just so much hypocrisy with it all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Absolutely.
like, and for me, I'm a very spiritual person. And after a while, I did not see the spirit within Christianity. I didn't see the spirit within these religious movements and stuff. So that's how my journey kind of started. And I started to kind of explore other things, learn everything, child. Like the gates were wide open. And so it really allowed me to discover who I really am. And it took my identity out of Christianity, which I didn't see myself in anymore. So yeah, just to give a little background about my religious background too, it's like very, and I feel like it's a good foundation, to
Yeah,
kind
I
of,
do think so.
you
I
know
agree.
what I'm saying? Right. Like I don't regret it. I wouldn't remove it from
Yeah,
my
me neither.
past,
Me neither.
but it's like it was part of it. It helped me get some kind of basic understanding of spirituality, but it definitely isn't the whole picture, right? Like it's not the whole thing. So okay, so with that, right? So if you would like share your awakening experience and just what the journey was like for you.
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking this. And I think it's so funny every time I get asked this because to me, I guess it sounds so like typical of like the story that you would hear of a person coming into spirituality. So for me, I had occurrences in my it was like a moment in my life and I would never forget it. I was just graduating college and like searching for jobs and stuff, and I was on a trip with my family and we went to LA, and I remember I kept seeing the number 22 everywhere. It was like a phenomenon for me. And see, I didn't realize at the time I was seeing angel number 22, right? And so for me it was angel numbers. But I went to the people around me, the adults around me, or the people that were older than me that raised me, looking for validation because I know I'm not going crazy. I truly am seeing the number 22 everywhere, like literally everywhere, to the point where it was almost like, nah, this is getting strange. And so now I'm going to the people around me and they're like, girl, it's psychosomatic. Like now you're just, you're seeing 22 because, now you're just looking for a type of vibe. And I totally understand that they didn't have the awareness or capacity to validate me because we are taught that things and occurrences like that are woo woo or weird, or, what I'm saying, not normal, right? That we should shun those kind of experiences. And so that caused me, because it was low-key disorienting, because I'm like, I know for a fact I'm seeing these 22s everywhere, but
Like, what is
everyone
it trying to tell me?
exactly. And so, that caused me to actually go into a hermit mode just slightly, and my first hermit mode, just coming to myself introspectively for quite a while. My friends couldn't even validate me. And so I just felt kind of alone, even though I knew consciously I'm not alone. I felt alone in this particular moment that I was dealing with, right? Or experiencing. And in that hermit mode, rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole, to be honest with you. And then I started really connecting with other, I guess, leaders online that were sharing their own spiritual experiences. And so I was able to really see outside of the people around me that what I'm experiencing is valid. And because naturally you just want to have a reason as to why you're experiencing something, right? And so that was like the first time that I had the awakening, and this was maybe like 7-ish years ago. And so over the course of my journey, I've just come to learn of the power that we are. Not to get, too ahead, but I've come to learn the power that we are. And I'm really passionate about it. I'm so passionate about it. So I continue to go on these different rabbit holes and just to learn more, because I'm realizing that there's too much to learn. We're gonna be like, the last day learning, if we choose to.
Still learning, right? It's an
Yeah.
information overload. It really is. But yes, those angel numbers and stuff, they'll drive anybody
Girl.
crazy. Like it's like I know I keep seeing this number,
Yeah.
and you
Everywhere.
looking up online and Google, okay, so what
Right.
does this mean? What does this
Mm-hmm.
mean? Yes, and I feel like that's in, like the first kind of like just doorway, like that there's something outside of you spiritually that's trying to connect with the inner you. You know what I'm saying? It's like because you have to see it physically outside in order for you to even like be aware of it and recognize it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the numbers and then the synchronicities and then just things just not making sense. You like, wait a minute.
Right, right. Until it starts to make sense, and then it's just like, oh,
Yes,
okay. So now it's just like in this
network.
day and age, to how excuse me, the amount that I've been able to evolve now is like I see an angel number, and it's not so like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? Whereas it's just like, okay, this is guidance. I can also look introspectively. I used to go on Google a lot to tell me what the angel numbers mean, but you know what? We in our present state of being, we can actually go inward, and practice makes progress. The more you go inward, the more you feel safe to go inward, and really just like analyze your current state of being to be like, okay, like what's going on with me in my life right now, and how does that feel significant for me, instead of going to Google. I mean, I think it's okay to go to Google as well, don't get me wrong, but it's also
Not all the time though. Yeah.
right,
Yeah, because Google
balance.
has some false information.
Exactly, thank you
We
kindly.
don't want to
Exactly.
always go to Google. Yes, using that internal kind of compass.
Navigate, exactly.
Yes, yes, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. So, okay, so let's go and move on to how did you fall in love with affirmations and started spreading the power of affirmations to everyone because we feel the power, honey. We know you're passionate. Like, so tell us about your journey with you, like kind of discovering affirmations and the power and all of that for you.
Yeah, okay, so you know what, I really love this question because previously I wouldn't mention this part first, but I'm going to mention this first. Growing up, my mom would consistently play India Ari. And I think it was the testimony, but I don't remember if it was the testimony one or two, but it was a particular India Ari album. And I think we could also give a little bit of kudos to India Ari because she's kind of like one of the pioneers of affirmation music. All of her music speaks so much love and light. And I remember little things like my mom, there was like growing up, if something was funny, we'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm weak. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're saying it's funny, you'd be like, oh, ha ha ha, I'm weak. My mother's like, you're not allowed to call yourself weak. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that.
Catch that right. She catched it
She,
quick. Like, okay.
so that was definite. And then, growing up, my mother would have the secret CD, and she would stick the CD in the car on the way to school. We were listening to the secret, boring AF to me at the time, but it planted a seed that I didn't realize it was planting. Right. So now, fast forward, I'm in a space where I'm at like self-esteem ground zero, because in addition to me having those experiences with my mom, planting those seeds, I also had experiences where the people around me, it's one thing to not affirm someone, but it's also another thing to go out of your way to affirm negatively someone, and I was negatively affirmed. So I had very low self-esteem. I also seen the people in my life, specifically the women in my life, being not really taken care of. And so it was a part of me becoming a product of my environment, and also me not realizing that I'm super sensitive, and I was like a bit of a people pleaser. So being at, self-esteem, self-confidence, ground zero, I'm also in like relationships, and it's just like I'm not being treated well. I came to a moment, it's just like, I'm not happy. I don't like being treated like this. And this was also around the same time that I'm experiencing the angel numbers. And so I was like, you know what? I just need some time to search and learn from people outside of me, right? And so I started looking at a whole bunch of different teachers, and affirmations just felt right to me. And so I started speaking to myself, just speaking affirmations, and learning on the journey of how to properly structure affirmations. But then I realized over the course of me speaking the affirmations, but then also me learning the power that we are as humans. You see, we don't realize that we're so powerful, but we are so freaking powerful. And when we speak, the energy within us and without us and around us gives us evidence of what we're saying to be true. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, the first evidence is shifts within our internal being, whether it's a mannerism shift or just a thought shift. But we are powerful. And when we speak, the universe around us is moving for us to honor what we're speaking. And so with me just consciously knowing and learning the power that we are, but also I'm so grateful too that I had the willpower to just be like, I'm not happy. I'm depressed, I'm miserable, and I'm learning
That
that,
awareness.
apparently where I am now is a byproduct of where I've been vibrationally, apparently. So and this is what I'm learning at the time. So if I choose to just start a journey now in this pain, then maybe one day I won't feel like this. And I just started the journey. I was really tired of feeling bad about myself. I was tired of allowing myself to be treated poorly. And I just started a journey, not really knowing how to start, but I just knew that I didn't want to. And I was broke at the time too. It was like maybe like also around COVID time and things happening. And so it was a lot going on. It was a lot going on, And yeah, I started transforming myself, and I just started feeling confident within myself, and I was doing my affirmations to myself by myself in my little room. And I just started feeling more confident within myself, but not confident enough to really speak to the people around me, because they didn't have the capacity or awareness to validate what I was saying. So they would tell me I'm lying if I say an affirmation, whereas like I'm speaking life over myself. It was just not a norm for them, and I couldn't go to them as a safe space. So girl, I went to TikTok. I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't even like thinking like, anything like I'm gonna create a platform now. It was just like I want an outlet. I'm learning these things about myself, and finally I'm starting to see that, and I wasn't even seeing it tangibly in my finances. I wasn't seeing it with like having nice things. I was seeing it because I was just simply feeling better about myself internally. That was the shift that I seen. And I felt drawn to. I wanted to speak about it, talk about it, because I'm like, no, wait, I've been here, and although I may not have that much money in my bank account yet, and I may still be getting things together, I just kind of feel this will to live again, and it just felt so like profound for me. I'm like, no, this is amazing, like this is great. In addition to that, I will say though, the affirmations didn't start by itself. I also started visualizing and doing meditations while I was starting the affirmations. So there were other factors that played into me being so passionate about this. And I feel like the divine God opened up a platform on my behalf that was necessarily wasn't my intention. And then I saw that people were just with me. You know what I'm saying? People were with me. People were here with me. You know what I'm saying? We were on the same wavelength and vibration. And so I just kept it going, and it was all super organic, super organic.
Yeah, I can see that. I can tell. Like you can tell when someone's on their journey, especially online. Because so many people like act like they're so spiritual, they're so woo-woo, and they're really trying to take advantage of people. And they also can be like energy vampires, you take it from other people. But when you're on your own spiritual journey and you really just want to share it with other people, it's a different kind of light, even through the screen. It's a different kind of light. So I definitely can recognize that with you and this how far you've come. Like especially with me, like affirmations, it transformed me mentally, spiritually, then physically. Now I want to work out more. You know what I'm saying? Now I care about myself. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at myself in the mirror and liking and loving what I
Oh,
actually
that makes me
see.
feel so good to
You
hear.
know what I'm saying? So it's like it's man, it's so powerful. And you're so right. We as humans are so powerful. Oh my gosh. That energy that we have, that life-giving force, it gives life. That's the only reason why this thing is still going. The only reason, because we have hope. We have light. Our natural state is light. So when we are seeing all this crazy stuff and it seems like a lot of darkness and evilness out there, it's like we have to remember our true essence, and that is light. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to go through and find it again, but we have to give ourselves at least that. You know what I'm saying? If for nothing else, give that to yourself. Like you said, even before the money come in, or all the nice material things, you feel so much like the consciousness is lifted immediately. You know what I'm saying? You're already on this different vibration, and where you don't have to worry, things are gonna work out.
Yeah,
Like you
absolutely.
have this internal knowing.
Yeah.
Yes, girl. Look, we can vibe like this all day, but I'm on that path, honey. I am on that path. So yeah. So tell me, what do you feel after you went through this transformation? After you're spreading the love and the energy to everyone and lifting them up, what do you feel like God told you your purpose is?
Mm.
It's a deep one, I know. I
Yeah,
know.
girl, that's D. You coming? You coming? Okay. Yo, that's a great question. For me, I feel like, and it's so funny because for a long time when I would introduce myself, I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Shariah Wise, and I'm a being who creates to inspire high vibrational living," right? And that's super duper vague, And so I'm gonna get to answer your question, but I think it's important for me to share. There was a long time where, and I feel like to feel like the victim is okay in the process of transmuting and feeling the whole range of emotions, consciously knowing that no one here is a victim, but sometimes you may feel that way, right? And so as I'm on my own healing journey, I had moments of feeling like a victim, as people who are healing tend to feel at a time. And I had a moment a few years back when I realized, like, yo, actually there's no way I could be a victim, because I've been able to take where I've been, transform myself. And it's like where I've been, like, and I said it once, but I'm just gonna say it like to emphasize that I used to be really, really, really depressed. And I used to be a severe people pleaser. And I used to allow people to treat me very poorly because I thought that overgiving, overextending, and being super empathetic, it's great to be empathetic, but not to my detriment, was love, because that's how I seen love expressed in how I was grown up, right? Or raised, I should say. And so for me, experiencing that and then just having the ability to bring myself to a space where I feel good about myself, and I feel good about myself to the point where I love myself and I'm able to now hold boundaries for myself. I'm able to keep
Yes.
myself protect. Like little things like that offered me so much peace of mind. And I know for a fact that there's a lot of people in the world that don't really understand their power. They were never taught their power. They were never taught how to love themselves, and they allow themselves to be in certain moments, and it's not their fault, right? Everything is programming, literally, And so we are all conditioned, conditioned, to be a certain way. And so the fact that I have like the conscious knowing that I've been there and there are still so many people there, right? And so I feel like, to get back to what I feel like God told me my purpose was, I have a lot of talents, but I feel like when I create, it's almost hard for me to create anything, whether it be music, whether it be content, whether it be a meditation, create literally anything, or even products that aren't going to offer an awakening, offer just knowing of oneself. And so I really truly believe that, at least in this present moment of October 2024, I believe God is telling me that my creations and the intention that I put into my creations has the ability to touch the masses. But I'm on the journey right now of actually creating it and also getting over my own imposter syndrome, because I know I've been through, in addition to me having my own experiences of, healing myself, I'm also, like you said, I'm very spiritually tapped in, and I receive certain messages that I could take the credit. That didn't come from me. You know what I'm saying? That came through me, but that didn't come from me. And a lot of times when I'm writing music too, like these messages will come out. And so I really believe that God is calling me to utilize my voice, whether it be to sing or to create or speak life, to uplift the collective that I'm building and that is building for me in this present moment. And I feel like my purpose will evolve as well. So maybe like sometime in the future we'll have another conversation and then you'll ask me again.
Yeah, could be something totally different on a much, much bigger scale.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes. Okay, okay. Let me find out you Starseed family.
I,
Let
you
me
know,
find out.
I'm discovering that aspect of myself, but I know I am so tapped in, too tapped in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Matter of fact, what's your zodiac sign?
Oh my gosh, I'm a Leo sun, Pisces moon,
Hmm.
and an Aquarius rising.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's so funny. One of my best friends a Leo. My son's a Pisces, so very sensitive, so
So,
great.
so.
So sensitive. Like, oh, I love him. So precious.
Oh,
With Aquarius, that's a different one, but I love to ask people because I want to see how I can kind of visualize, because we all have all the zodiacs in us, right? Like we know that we all have a house, we all have a zodiac, but certain things are more prevalent. So I just like to kind of get the vibe, to understand like your flow, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Virgo, big Virgo. Okay, big
Okay, I'm a
Virgo.
cusper, so like some calendars say I'm Virgo, but I think I feel like I'm literally on the cusp, 22nd August. So a few calendars say I'm Virgo, and I was raised by a Virgo, my mom. But I feel like a Leo though.
So let's go back when you were you're talking about your journey and how you feel like you want to help others. Tell me how your relationships have been since your healing journey, especially with women. Cuz I want to ask because sometimes when you go on this journey it can feel very lonely, right? And it can feel like nobody really understands you and you're also looking for that maybe I'll just speak for me, divine feminine influence, you know, and you're looking and you're not really in church anymore, so the old kind of wise mom or grandmother of the church ain't really aligned anymore. So tell me how that was for you and your relationship with other people as you're coming to this new kind of spiritual journey walk.
Oh my God, this is a great question. No one ever asked me this. So for me, at first, it was very lonely. It was extremely lonely. I'm so blessed enough to have a group of, I mean, I have friends in all facets and aspects of my life, but I'm so blessed to have a group of girlfriends that we've been friends for like years, high school, college times. And that's when we came together and we just stuck together, right? And when I first began my journey, I actually isolated myself because I was feeling almost invalidated, but not that it's almost like the people around me, my friends and family, literally everyone, they didn't have the capacity to really empathize with where I was. And, it was also in a time where I was really figuring a lot of things out in my personal life. And so, the people around me were kind of wondering like, how come you're not going to get a job right now? Like little things like that. And it was like hard because I knew the journey I was on, and also at the time nobody knew that I was building a platform, was creating on TikTok for me. So they don't know that I'm actively posting. It was my TikTok platform was secret for like 2-3 years, girl, from my my close family and friends, right? They didn't
Mhm.
know because the ideas that I would share are not what we speak about, and I already had moments where
Yeah.
I was like kind of invalidated, so I like it was self-preservation for me as well. I didn't want to be invalidated again, which is totally normal, right? Until I had moments where I built that confidence to be like, this is me now, what's up? But building up to that, it was really really lonely because I had friends that would literally say like, yo, like, girl, you're broke, you need to either go be a nurse, or because this music thing or whatever you're doing, it's not gonna pay the bills, little things like that. And for me, it made me feel very unsupported. And so, but also I acknowledged and I'm able to look at it unbiasedly. And so because of that, I tended to, and it was probably for like 2 years, I stayed to myself. I really wasn't going out with my friends as much. But over those 2 years, I had the opportunity to also come to myself and realize that I have awakened. People awaken at different times, but that doesn't mean that they don't love me. And it also doesn't mean that I can't, not necessarily even come to their level, because it's not like that, but it's almost in a sense of we you have people in your life for different reasons, right? And so I know that we are in vibrational alignment when we do this together, and that's okay, you know what I'm saying? But then I also have friends in my life where we are vibrationally aligned to do this together, you know what I'm saying? And so I had to realize that actually it's okay, and it's pretty normal for the people that you love most and that love you most to not understand you, because y'all met in alignment here and now y'all journeys are taking y'all somewhere else. But that don't mean that y'all can't come back here because y'all love each other still, and so it took me like 2 to 3 years to really just be okay with the fact that maybe I'm like different, or I have things that I'm interested in that my friends may not be interested in, and that's okay. I realize like we all evolve and grow differently. And for me though, because I genuinely love my friends and I know they love me too, it was worth it for me to be able to come to that unbiased place and not take things so personal. Like they didn't understand because it wasn't meant for them to understand. But I have friends that are seeing angel numbers now. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
it's
They go
just
ask
like
you like,
it was a
"Hey,
journey.
what you say about that?"
Exactly. Even with my mom too. Like my mom, she has moments. She's like, "You said that a few years ago." I'm like, "I know. It's okay though. It's okay, girl."
Okay, like
Yeah, a lot
I
of.
hate to do that. I hate to do
Hmm.
it, but it's like I told you so. Okay.
I'm cool with being a seed planter though. I'm so okay with being a seed planter.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I feel like that is like our duty, our job as like being awakened, having the light kind of relit within us just to plant the seeds. It'll grow in due time. God already knows what they're doing. So we don't have to do anything extra. Just plant the seed and just trust that it will grow. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that because I want the audience to know like as you go on this journey, it is going to cause some separation, right, with you and your friends and family and people that you grew up with because you're changing, you're evolving, you're not the same
Yes.
person anymore,
Hmm.
you know?
And that's
And
uncomfortable
so
for them as well. Just as it's
old
uncomfortable for you, that it's uncomfortable for them because they're not used to this version of you that you're transforming yourself into, you know?
exactly, they haven't seen this person before, so they're kind of wondering like, well, what are you into, what type of stuff,
Right. Exactly.
and, you have to come to it and really not be ashamed, get out of the spiritual closet, as they say, just like let people see your true self and who you are now. Because I was the same way. Like, I did not want people to really judge me. You know what I'm saying? Judge me because I'm living or just like believing different things than what we used to know. And, like you said, deprogramming. I having to relearn everything, right? There was so much that was hidden from us, including our own true power. Now that I'm tapping into it, I'm like, okay, but wait a minute. Okay, there must be something to this. And so, yeah, you just kind of have to come out of that spiritual closet and just allow people to see you like, hey, this is me now, accept me, I love you, hope you love me, and let's just move forward because the train ain't gonna stop for
You
nobody.
know, and be graceful with the journey too, you know? Be great, be super graceful with the journey. It may not happen quickly, but be graceful with it and trust that everything will work out exactly how it should.
So speaking of things of trusting how it should, let's get a little political. I just threw this in here. This wasn't part of my question. But what do you feel spiritually, energetically about these elections? I gotta know, girl. I gotta see where you at. Where are you at? Not saying who you going for or whatever, just spiritually. What do you feel about all this election stuff?
I feel like the scales will always balance, right? And we've also been a society that's been run by men a lot too. Sidebar, we've been run by men. One thing I know about women, especially, the older you get, if you choose to evolve, but women are very intuitively tapped in with the energies around them and the energies within themselves. Whereas I feel like, at least with the men that have ran this country previously, it's been very much wars and a lot of almost like violence and scarcity mindset, scarcity consciousness that are like being plagued to us, from the leaders, right? Because we need oil and things like that, and it's just it's a lot of things. And then we have weapons of freaking mass destruction, which is like wild
I
to
don't
me. And
even have that. Right. Like, what
it's
do we
like
even
it's like so many different thoughts that has come to my mind. And so I feel as if I feel like we're in a space where we are transitioning vibrationally as a world, and shit gotta shake up. Excuse my language, but shit gotta shake up, And where there's dark, there's light, right? And so when we're in a space where we've been operating, living, functioning, governing as a society in a very or in a way that's more dark, when we and also just more one-sided. It's one gender that always ran the, what I'm saying? It's all just one aspect of a whole entire scope, and we're only on one half of the aspect. So now we're like tipping into the other side of the aspect, whether that be because there's a woman that's being or running up for election, or being that yeah, it's so, spiritually, I feel like we're in a space of transition. And I feel like it's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people, but also a lot of people are going to feel empowered by it. And I feel like scales always have to balance. Even if it was like 1,000 years or something, there's going to be another 1,000 years of of the, you know what I'm saying? The scales always have to balance. And I feel like also, I mean, even cyber, even when you look at like AI, like ChatGPT is actually nuts to me. That's ChatGPT is my personal assistant, sidebar. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
And if you're not utilizing this, what are you doing?
You
Okay.
okay?
Hello.
And see, I grew up in the era that like transitioned from us playing outside and doing double dutch and hopscotch. I was in that transitionary era where we stopped doing that, right? And so we used to be like just one way. And I remember like even like doing math in school, you would do everything the long way. You wasn't even really allowed to use your calculator. You know what I'm saying? Little things, but it's just like now everything is just changing in this world. Things are going to change because everything is fluid and things don't stay the same. You know what I'm saying? And if it is staying the same, why is it staying the same? You know what I'm saying? People be like, "Oh, you changed. Why haven't you changed? Why haven't you evolved?" You know, so and that is also with exactly. That's also has to do with our government, with these elections. Like things going to change whether you like it or not. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like things are going to change, things are going to progress and evolve. And yo, I can go so deep. Everything is changing. Even with like how, the industry has been, that's changing clearly. We're in a huge we in the age of Aquarius, girl. Things are
Oh
going to
yes,
change and
period.
we have no
Period.
choice. There's no choice, right?
There's
And
no
so
truth.
spiritually, I feel
Yes.
like I'm not sure if I should say that the cards are balanced, the tables are balancing, but I know that there are vibrational shifts that are inevitable, and we are clearly seeing it because we have a black woman that's running for president. Hello, and doing very well, and so from what I'm seeing, doing very well. So it's just, I feel like spiritually, cards are going to balance. Things are going to change. Not everyone's going to like it. Some people are going to feel empowered by it, and also, if you really want to talk about it, I feel like, these different parties, there's someone above here running all of these different parties. If we
Oh
really
yeah.
want to talk about it,
Oh
you
yeah.
know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah. This is not a conspiracy podcast, folks. Okay. This
Yeah,
is not.
we gonna bring it back. We gonna bring it back.
But we're gonna bring it back. That's another episode for my late night people because look, I am with the shits when it comes to that. All right. I am with the shits of the conspiracy of it all because we know at the end of the day, they don't have any power. All right. Neither party has power. There's somebody above them running the whole show. You know what I'm saying? And so it's really about, like you said, these balances is about to balance out. I feel like the light is about to be back in the fourth place, the first place, and the evil is about to be back in the belly where it needs to be. Honestly, because before it gets better, it does have to get worse. The dark is coming up, the nasty stuff, the stuff that they've been trying to keep hidden for so long, they can't hide it no more, baby. They can't hide it no more. So all of that stuff is coming to the surface, I believe, for individuals as well. Individuals as well. It's an energetic movement that's happening. So all is being revealed within your individual self as well. And it's also a separation of consciousness. Some people are still stuck in that matrix and they don't stay there, unfortunately, because their consciousness haven't risen to understand
Yeah.
moving, we're all transforming.
Maybe in
So
the next
oh,
lifetime. Mm-hmm.
it's no more. It's no more for that. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I see the shift, I feel the shift, and I'm like, oh, sure, back in now.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna hold you. It's like just to be someone who is maybe more consciously aware, and then to just observe everything that's happening. It's just like just
I'm an observer. I don't have neutral. I have no cards or nothing on either side, baby. I'm just watching. I'm a bystander. Okay. I'm just neutral because when you get your feelings and all that involved, that's how it shows that you still have attachment. You still have attachment to that old way of being, that old way of life, not knowing we all are one. So why are you gonna choose sides? How you gonna choose sides if we're all one? You know? So that's how I look at it. I just be sitting back and just watching, like, ooh,
and I'm grateful to be aware. I'm grateful to have awareness, and to just be on this journey and to look at it unbiasedly, like you said, just as the observer. I'm observing.
and then to stay on your path, right? Stay on your path, focus, like you said, you're not really into the election or the political, so which is great because you ain't missing nothing. You're really not. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like what I need to know, it'll come to me, because certain things, like even if you have a super tailored algorithm, some certain things will still pop up on your timeline, because even if it's not a news source, you're gonna see maybe one of your mutuals or someone that you know speaking about it, you know? And so I have awareness, enough awareness. I have enough awareness.
Enough awareness. Right. You have enough to know what's going on. And that's all you really need. That's all you really need. As long as you know that we all are part of one. And as soon as you judge or look at somebody else a different way, you're judging yourself. That reflection is coming right back on you, you know? So that's just the main thing to keep in mind. But I just had to ask because, it's what's going on, it's what's
It's present
happening.
day, it's current events.
It's current event. It's
Yeah,
current
you know what I'm
event.
saying?
But ultimately, on a serious note, I am consciously, unconsciously, intentionally sending out healing energy and just love energy to everyone during this time, because I feel like there's so much confusion, so much confusion. People don't know up from down, right from left. And so, and other people are putting themselves in these energetic like wave fields because they think they're fighting for the right thing, and really you're giving your power away. You know what I'm saying? You're continuing giving your power away. And I'm kind of speaking about the wars and stuff like that. It's like they want us to be so riled up about this, you know what I'm saying? And to take sides, and to actually cheer them on for a genocide. Like, that's wild. That's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like there's so much going on. And to do it on an unconscious level and a more intentional, it's just like send out love energy all the time, no matter what's going on, even to oh boy that's behind bars right now. I send out love to him. I don't judge him. That he's fallen from grace, if you will, but that's still a human being that needs love and energy during this time. So at the end of the day, that's how I feel. But before we get out of here, what would you like to share to women or people that are first like becoming awakened and they're trying to like find their way along this journey? Like, what advice would you give them to help them on this like transformational journey?
First thing I would say is, having the conscious, and it always starts with the conscious knowing, right? And, we have to go deeper than just the conscious knowing, but also just first having the conscious knowing that, lady, you are so powerful. Girl, you are powerful. You in and of yourself, you are power. The fact that you're here aligned with the two of us shows that you are powerful. That is proof right there. And I want to emphasize that everything, although everything truly, truly, truly does happen for our best and highest good, sometimes moments of life, sometimes things don't always feel well, especially if you're someone who is just beginning your journey. It could feel almost very dysregulating and almost a little disorienting, especially if you're one of the ones that are coming to awakenings and awareness before the people around you. It could feel very isolating, right? And I just want to encourage you and remind you to let you know that that is a part of the journey, right? Life is a compilation of moments, and moments don't last forever, but every moment is offering us an opportunity, despite how it feels, and every moment is offering us a lesson, right? And so know that it's such a privilege to awaken. It's such a privilege to awaken in this lifetime. We are all, sidebar, this is my idea, but I truly believe we are all souls in human vessels, and we have egos. With egos not being a good or bad thing, egos, you're like your human filter. Ego allows you to feel the feelings of earth. Like even denser energies. Ego, and that's why going back, we're always perpetuated through the media with all of these different things to keep us in our ego super dysregulated and riled up in those lower vibing. Not that we don't acknowledge it when we experience it, but the idea of the media is to keep us there, right, without experiencing the balance of coming back to yourself. So the fact that you have the awareness to just consciously know that there is more, know that you're, first off, you're on a very rare journey. I mean, I think there's a lot of people waking up now, more people, but still there's a lot of people that are asleep. And so you're waking up for a reason, And I would say continue to keep up with your mindfulness practices, such as your affirmations, also include daily movement into your mindfulness, because that keeps you grounded in your body. Not moving with the intention of being anyone's beauty standard, but moving just because you consciously know that you are moving your life force energy that's within you, and that keeps you grounded in your body, right? Say your affirmations, practice meditation. And there's so many different healing modalities and mindfulness practices out there. It doesn't have to be meditation, right? But continue to do the practices, and I mean be consistent with it. Remember, you are the power. You are the power. You have the power. You are the power. And you keep your power and you evolve your power and get more comfortable with the expression of your power by coming back to yourself, whether that be, like I said, affirmations, meditation. I've recently been getting into EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. You guys look that up. We could have a whole conversation on that. FT, emotional freedom technique, has been revolutionary. And
Now,
know
is
that
that or no?
tapping. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. I was saying, like, this sounds like something
girl,
I've
it's
heard of
tap. Okay,
before.
yes. You know what? EFT or
Okay.
tapping. I'm gonna start saying or tapping. Yes, because I be
Okay.
getting all
Okay.
technical with the names and whatnot, but it's tapping. It's literally
It's good to
tapping.
know what it stands for, though. Okay. Got you.
Yes.
Oh,
And
nice. So, how has that been with the tapping? 'Cause I've
oh,
been seeing more people doing that.
girl, when if I could scream the word revolutionary right now, but I don't want to bust anyone's eardrums. It's been so The intention of tapping slash EFT, emotional freedom technique, is to create emotional space within your body. A lot of times when we have emotionally charged moments of life, whether we have the awareness to perceive it as emotionally charged or not, right? Traumatic moments, whatever you want to call it, we have to protect ourselves. Our nervous system wants to protect us so that we can feel grounded and regulated in our body during those emotionally charged moments, right? And so oftentimes in our present state of being, we'll have moments of life that even vibrate even a little bit close to the frequency of that first emotionally charged moment. And then we get it's almost like that version of us that created that trauma response gets brought up, right? But that's because we have stagnant emotional energies literally within our organs. We're taught that our organs are just like these things in our bodies that do certain functions for us, but actually, in addition to that, our organs are energy centers. And so when you see people tapping, they are actually tapping on what is called meridian endpoints. And these meridian endpoints are the surface endpoints on our surface, like the surface of our body. That is the literal endpoint of where the flow of your life force energy goes to a particular organ. So I believe the under eye meridian is, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's the meridian endpoint that goes to the stomach, right? And so we have it for our spleen, our bladder, and I think there's 7 to 9 in between those different endpoints on our body that we tap. And the same endpoints that, like, when you go into doing acupuncture, these are the same exact, they call it emotional acupuncture. These are the same points where they put the needles, the same exact points is where we're tapping. And for me personally, it's been very revolutionary in cleansing old, emotional energies that's just been sitting in my being. The first time I did it, I knew it's for emotional release, excuse me. Did not expect to boohoo cry like I did for something that I thought I was over,
Oh,
child. And it was when I got to this one right here. I just started crying, girl, and it was
oh,
so funny because I knew what was happening. I knew that this was an emotional release, but it was just like, oh my God, no, this is real. Like, and I was like, sobbing as if like whatever happened just now happened, like sobbing. It's remarkable. Look it up, you guys. Look it up.
I will look it up, and y'all definitely look it up. We may have to do an episode on that, and I'm gonna have to bring you back because that sounds like so transformational. Like just releasing. I've seen like women who's like got their hips opened up and they just like cry because they're releasing their trauma from their like root chakra. And oh my God, like I need something like that. I need just like a release, because I don't cry that often. I probably cried this year more than I have in like the last 5 years. And I feel like just because it's been such a just very strong, emotionally charged year, but I need something to release like myself physically other than just like working out because I like to work out too. But thank you so much. We're gonna have to do something together. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we
have
both
to.
in Houston.
Yes, exactly. Like we're gonna have to link up, do
I
something,
would love
invite the
to.
tribe. but I would love to do that because we are right around the corner, and we got to stick together, girl. We got to stick together. In this spiritual community, it's not a lot of like Black girls, in this community that really kind of like vibe that's like, not too far off on the left or on the right, just kind of like really just want to like enjoy someone's like energy and then help co-create together. And that's all I want to do. Let's co-create, make something beautiful that can help elevate, elevate the conscious and the vibration of the people. So
I'm so
if
down,
you down,
girl. Yes,
I'm
I'm
down.
down, girl. I'm down. I love the vibes already.
Okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Well, okay, before we go, give your information where people can follow you, check you out, and anything that you have that you have working on that you want people to know about.
Yes. Okay, everybody. I am Shariah Wise. I'll spell it out: SHARIYAWISE. Literally everywhere, including ShariahWise.com. You guys, I don't know if you guys remember the song that goes, "Sis, you a
You are
bad
bad.
bitch. Even when you don't feel it, you still the bad
What?
bitch."
Are you
Y'all,
gonna
we
do a
released
video on
that.
that? Because you should really do a video on that.
You said what? We should do
You should
what?
do a video on that. You should
Let
really
girl,
do
that's
a
a no, that is a
video.
video by itself. I have a whole backstory, girl. We'll talk about it. We could talk about it. And so I released that in 2022. And in 2024, I have my debut music project, high vibrational music project, releasing next month on the portal 11/22, November 22nd, 2024. Produced by none other than Kristen Teeb. If you know, you know.
Oh,
So
Kristen Team, I
I was
love
just
them.
like, they literally
That's
called me right
wonderful.
before we got on our call, and I was like, I gotta go, guys. I gotta come and talk to my girl real quick. I was literally just on the phone with them, so we've been working together over the last maybe over more than a year. And we just been working. We've been creating a lot of music on the back end, and so now we finally have the time. This is the time where we're going to have a project, and I'm just really grateful. I'm just so grateful. So you guys look out for that. We're working on an album name right now, but just know that it's a high vibrational album from Shariah Wise and Kristen T, coming to you November 22nd, 2024. So stay tuned and follow me, you guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for joining. And everyone, remember to continue to stay on your highest timeline. Stay tapped in to who you truly, truly are. Don't let no one take you off your path, and be the light wherever you go. All
Yes.
right, y'all. Stay blessed. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Soul of Media podcast. Please, please share the podcast with your friends, family, anyone who you think can get enlightenment from this podcast. Oh, and also join the High Vibe Tribe on Facebook, on our Facebook group. And if you want to know when the next episode will be dropping, join the Soul Tribe texting group. Just text Soul Tribe at 844-751-1267. All right, y'all. Just remember, you are magnificent, here to shine your divine light. So stay hydrated, motivated, and elevated. Peace.